Oh!
Whoa! Chris is handsome! Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. I am John.
Hi, John!
And today, I want to share with you my hero, Chris Hadfield. Chris Hadfield is a Canadian astronaut, and in his story, I was very inspired by his story. So, start from here. Chris Hadfield was born in 1959, August 29. He was born in an area of corn farm in Oriental, Montana State in Canada. And during his life, his father is flying airplane, and he likes to fly airplane first. But have you ever inspired by anyone or something when you were a child and you decided to attend the university or to do some job because of you? Well, at the age of 9, Neil Armstrong being the first human that landed on the moon. And Chris Hadfield was inspired by watching the live broadcasting on television. And at the age of 9, he decided to become an astronaut. But in 1969, there is no any government organization that is in charge of the innovation of space. So, if you want to become an astronaut, but you know there is no way you can do it, what would you do? Well, if it's me, maybe I would try to find another job or try to do something else. But Chris Hadfield, he thought, maybe if I want to fly a rocket in the future, maybe I should be a pilot first. So at 12 years old, he attended Air Candidate program, which is a program under Canadian Air Force. It's like a junior high school under Canadian Air Force. So he lived in the life of a soldier since he was 12 years old. And what were you doing when you were 12 years old? And at the age of 24, he finally became a fighter pilot. And at the age of 30, he was sent to the United States to train as a test pilot. We know that test pilot is very risky. They live in a very dangerous life because they have to fly very new kinds of flight and doing some danger behavior to test whether the flight is able to use. And at the age of 33, he became the #1 test pilot in United States Navy. And by that time, the Canadian Space Agency established. And they started to hire people and they called for astronauts. And Chris Hadfield thought, I'm already prepared for it for over 20 years. So he raised his hand and said, yeah, choose me. So he was being selected by 4,000 from a field of 4,000 people and become the first 4 astronauts that is chosen as the first Canadian astronaut. So, what are the astronauts do when they're not flying? Are they keep training? Of course they have to keep training, but also they work in the mission control center because they have to be familiar with their mission and to be familiar with the people that connect with them on the Earth. So most of the time he's working in the mission control center. And after 3 years of training, he finally leads to first flight, the STS-74. He is the first Canadian attend the Russian space station. And at that time, there are still very high percentage dying on the space station. So at that time, there's a risky job to be an astronaut. After several years, in 2001, he had another mission, STS-100. And this is the Canadian arm, for the Canadian arm in the International Space Station. And he's the first Canadian that takes a spacewalk outside the International Space Station. And the third time, he became a commander in the ISS, International Space Station. He also makes a lot of YouTube videos. That is why I know him, because I'm addicted to YouTube videos. And you can search his name on YouTube, and you'll see his explain how to do the number 1 and number 2 on the ISS. And if the astronaut cries, the tears actually will fall. And he's explaining how an astronaut sleep on the ISS, and he's trying some Russian food. And the most important thing, he made the very first music video on the ISS, on the space. For space oddity, I recommend you trying to see this on YouTube. And until today, Chris is retired, but he is still active on Instagram. And I recommend you to take a look at this story.